now listening to Tuff Tiger Talk Flash Report.
All right, shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all being in with this latest episode of Tuff Tiger Talk. I'm Big Q, the host. Appreciate all the diehard Tuff Tiger Talk family members for being in the stream, man. Listen, we're going to go over a few news, notes, and items on this week's episode of Tuff Tiger Talk. So do me a service, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you know another diehard Tiger family member like yourself, please feel free to share the link with these other Tuff Tiger Talks. We continue to build the nation together. So much love to you guys. LSU camp observations, man, to kind of go over in this episode of the show. Wilson Alexander from NOLA.com kind of talk about the scoop with this thing as we kind of delve into it, man. Xavier Thomas is also making plays for the team. He did that in Tuesday morning with the red zone situations. DJ Pickett was a 6'5" cornerback, played tight coverage against a 5'10" wide receiver who jumped over him. That's a real athlete. Thomas' catch was the offensive highlight of LSU's fully padded practice hour, which was open to the media. But once again, as often has been the case for the preseason, the defense mostly won the 11-on-11 plays, as were seen by reporters and onlookers. And based on all the footage that we've been seeing from camp, the LSU's defense is really cutting up, man. And that is something positive. Full rundown of what happened in the 11th preseason practice. The Tigers ran 11 plays on the 11-on-11 periods that took place during the open portion. The next 2 days are closed. Now, defense stands out. 11-on-11 period started in the red zone. We're starting offensive playing against the defense, mostly filled with backup linebackers and safeties. On the first play, sophomore defensive tackle Ahmad Bro, we're going to be seeing a lot from him, recorded a tackle for a loss when Thomas took a counter on handoff after the false start on redshirt freshman right tackle Weston Davis. Thomas caught the roughly 22-yard touchdown from Garrett Nussmeier. Some of the family members kind of a little nervous about the injury scare, but like I said, man, it was nothing much as Coach Kelly kind of broke that thing down. So otherwise, LSU's offense struggled to move the ball. After the touchdown, the second team offense came off the field against the starting defense. The ball was placed at the 1-yard line after a pass interference call on sophomore cornerback PJ Woodland in the end zone on the first down. On the next play, linebacker Harold Perkins, who's really been looking good, blew up an inside handoff to running back Caleb Jackson for a tackle for a loss. The backups did not score on the next 3 plays either. The last play in the series was a direct snap that bounced off Jackson and was turned for a touchdown by senior cornerback Mansour Delaney. So no longer in the red zone, the starting offense retook the field at the 1-yard line once again against the apparent second-team defense. Now, Bro made another tackle, and Nussmeier completed a short throw to Nick Anderson, who was playing really well, for 7 yards. Now, Nussmeier's last pass of the day fell incomplete, and he rolled out to his right side, and Nussmeier looked to throw the ball to redshirt junior receiver Aaron Anderson along the sideline, but the cornerback Ashton Stamps, who's been playing really good, had tight coverage on the play and had something to say about it. Now, Anderson continues to work his way back onto the field after missing the beginning of the camp. You remember he had that inflammation in the left knee. Yeah, he has a compression sleeve on both legs, but he's doing more. The second team offense had one more chance against the starting defense other than a completion from quarterback Michael Van Buren, the backup, to tight end Donovan Green for a first down. It did not move the ball much during those 6 plays. Now, who's the Wild Tiger? With the ball at the 1-yard line during the red zone periods, Van Buren motioned out of the backfield sophomore Juwan Johnson, who took the snap. Now, Johnson, who played quarterback and running back in the preseason, was tackled short of the goal line. After the incompletion, Van Buren then lined up on the outside with Johnson and Jackson in the backfield. LSU called the direct snap to Jackson, and the ball bounced off his hands, allowing Delaney to return it for a defensive touchdown. LSU's offense just could not get it going. LSU did not show the Wildcat look again, but it has experimented with multiple times during the preseason's practice. Maybe they bring it back. On Tuesday, the Wildcat plays did not have any success. So that's something Coach Kelly ain't going to let go. Other tidbits to make mention of: redshirt sophomore cornerback Jakeem Jackson, who's a Florida transfer, did not practice. Instead, was walked off to the sideline with his athletic trainers and rode a stationary bike. Now, Jackson left Monday's practice early with appearing to be some type of injury. LSU practice punts. Kentucky transfer Baron Brown, Aaron Anderson, and Thomas were catching them. That's a lot of speed in the return game, especially with Barron, especially with Aaron Anderson. These guys are blazers, man. They're track stars. All right, so that's a little bit giblet and tiblet about what's happening at LSU camp coming up, day number 11. Now, let's keep it moving, fam. Let's kind of move along to the next item of news to kind of talk about on Tuff Tiger Talk. The poll rankings. Of course, y'all know the AP polls came out, the preseason AP top polls are the top 25. It was interesting because the AP top 25 poll had LSU in the top 10, not so much the top 5. A lot of people thought LSU would be mentioned among the top 5 in the country. Instead, Texas, led by Arch Manning, Penn State with Drew Lar, Ohio State's there, Clemson with Cade Klubnik, you got Georgia, Notre Dame, Oregon, Alabama, and then LSU with Miami rounding out the top 10. Now, this is interesting with the AP top polls. A lot of people, including myself, predict that an SEC team will win the college national championship this upcoming season. I think it's LSU. I think the last 3 years have been building up to a point where LSU, Coach Kelly, was building his team. He was doing the recruits and all that. Of course, Underwood was the big topping that was supposed to go on top of this thing for this year, but instead you move him out to Michigan, who's ranked 14 in the poll, and you bring back college veteran Nussmeier to round this thing out, and you still have a bunch of college veterans there. You got Weeks and Harold Perkins and all these other guys are still here. So you add those guys that stayed from last year along with the 2025 recruiting class that they were able to amass, plus the top transfer portal guys in the nation. And I thought LSU should have had a higher ranking in here, but they are still within the top 10. Other Louisiana teams to make mention of is Louisiana Lafayette. They finish out the lowest votings, and Tulane is mentioned in the polls. So Tulane's made mention in the polls. That's a very positive thing. People anticipating Tulane to take the step in Conference USA. So outside of that, man, it's going to be very interesting to see how things fall LSU land. Let's keep it moving. Now, with all that being said, the rankings are set. So LSU's 9th in the Associated preseason top 25 poll. And this is the second top 10 preseason ranking LSU's. Last week, they also ranked them 9th in the USA to today's poll, coaching's poll. They put LSU there. So Clemson's LSU season opener opponent is ranked number 4th in the AP poll. So they're top 5 team. So if you look at LSU and Clemson's game, it'll be set to go on August the 30th at 6:30 p.m. kickoff time Central at Clemson's Memorial Stadium. This game is going to be a huge game because it will feature in the first week of the college schedule 2 top 10 teams or top 9 teams in the nation. Clemson at 4th, LSU at 9, battling. And now this game has big implications in terms of how to start the season. Now, LSU has lost 3 straight season openers in the Brian Kelly administration. Don't want to remind the Tuff Tiger Talk family members about that. You guys know it too well. I think it's 5 overall, if I'm not mistaken. It's 5 overall losses straight, 5 straight opening season losses, 3 under Coach Kelly. So this is something that we would love to break, especially breaking it up against a number 4th ranked Clemson team in Clemson Stadium. It's going to be big, man. It's going to be astronomical. So it'll be the first time that LSU opens the season with a top 10 matchup in a true road game. The Tigers played the top 10 games in 2011 against Oregon and 2023 against Florida State, but both took place at neutral sites. It's a whole nother ball of wax where LSU has to take on a very good Clemson club in their own building. It's going to be off the chain. LSU's entering its 4th season under Coach Kelly. Is trying to snap a 5-year losing streak in season openers, and the Tigers have emphasized the Clemson game throughout the offseason. Coach Kelly has really been adamant about that. No doubt about it. He's been majorly pushing this stuff. He's been pissed. Remember last year he was pounding on tables. I mean, he's made changes in his coaching staff. He's done everything he could do to fill in the gaps with the transfer portal, the veterans that they had already, the recruiters, the recruiting class that was really solid. So LSU, man, Coach Kelly is doing everything that he can to make sure that he gets LSU back where they need to be. And I think it's a positive thing, man, to be honest with you. So we'll just see. And speaking of Coach Kelly, it's just weird, the Paul Finebaum. He does the Paul Finebaum thing every week. You know, he takes time out to go and talk to Paul Finebaum from his office. It's just like, it's kind of weird, Finebaum, how he talks with him, but it's weird. He kind of, Finebaum takes jabs at Coach Kelly at times. I think he just plays it higher. This is an example. On 3 covers it. Paul Finebaum jabs at Brian Kelly over the difference between Netflix persona and press conferences. I guess it's not much here. Netflix new docuseries, SEC Football, Any Given Saturday, takes supporters behind the scenes and an in-depth look at the 9 SEC programs throughout the 2024 college football season. One of the more prominent teams featured is LSU, with 4-year coach Brian Kelly representing a central figure throughout the several of the 7 episodes, right? That includes the first episode titled Opening Kickoff, opening with a look at how Coach Kelly still working to instill a championship culture as he enters his 3rd season in Baton Rouge. As a part of the all-access look into the program, Netflix cameras also revealed a different, more coarse side of the 63-year-old Brian Kelly that most Tiger supporters aren't privileged to see on a regular basis. Less than 5 minutes into the opening episode, Coach Kelly is heard repeatedly dropping multiple F-bombs as he chastises LSU players for not quite living up to his championship vision during the preseason practice ahead of the highly anticipated 2024 season opener against USC, right? Listen to me, man. I'm going to say it one more effing time. If you want to come out here and go half speed and go ahead, he says, and go half speed, go ahead. I'm going effing in. Is that clear? If you guys want to go half speed, let me know now. You're wasting my time. Get your asses going. While cursing and vulgarities are hardly unique to coaching at any level, it was the side of Kelly. And listen, man, we know this is how, if you ever play football or any competitive sport, some coaches talk like this. You know, they do get very emotional. They do get vulgar. It's just a part of how the coaching thing is. It is what it is. That, you know, and while cursing and vulgarities are hardly unique, it was a side of Kelly that caught SEC Network host Paul Finebaum, who serves as a bit of a narrator throughout the Netflix series, off guard as he recently sat down to watch the full docu-series released last week. He says, I'm at a disadvantage because I just started watching and I saw Coach Kelly. I mean, all I saw was Brian Kelly cursing the first episode that I watched. You know, where were you raised at, Finebaum? In a church convent somewhere? I mean, come on, man.
Well, I think the problem Brian Kelly has right now is what he says at these news conferences is competing with what people are watching on Netflix. And which Brian Kelly is talking, the one that was talking before the season or the one that's talking now that the season is here? And I say that somewhat jokingly, but he definitely is a big conversation piece after the Any Given Saturday came out. But I feel pretty good about that. I mean, when you say from an injury standpoint, 0.5 on a scale of 0 to 10. I mean, that's essentially saying it's no big deal. It's waking up in the morning and you're a little bit sore, and then you go in and get treated. I don't think it's a big deal, but I think what it really shows is just how precarious the LSU schedule is as well. You know, first game speaks for itself. Then all these other games, including that Florida game a couple of weeks later. So I just think that there's it's a little bit like Auburn, except the stakes are higher. They get out of Clemson with a win, and expectations are going to just rocket around the world. And if they lose, it's probably the easiest prediction in the world what Labor Day morning is going to be like when it comes to LSU fans. I mean, they will be in a complete meltdown.
All right, so here we go back to, and that's a couple of things that Finebaum said going to the article, and he right. It's definitely one of those situations this year where we expect an LSU to rise to the top, and make things pop and happen here in LSU land, right? So Finebaum just his pearl clutching aside, Kelly and LSU are once again the talk of the college football world going into the 2025 season up against Clemson. What has been billed as the Battle of the Death Valleys. That especially true after veteran senior quarterback Garrett Nussmeier suffered a preseason injury scare, was recently left practice with tendonitis in the patella of his knee. Kelly clarified the situation, downplaying the injury as a pissed off patella tendon. So on a scale of 1 to 10, this is a 1.5 on a scale of 1 to 10. And this is just being honest with you so we get the right information out there. Regarding us, Kelly said August the 8th, it's not a serious injury. And it's like guys dealing with tendonitis virtually every day in life. Take 2 aspirin. I'll call you in the morning, right? This is more precautionary. So that's what Coach Kelly said. Still, anytime a team starting quarterback suffers any sort of preseason injury, regardless of the actual severity, it sends shockwaves through the affected family base and for an LSU fan base eager to return to championship contention amid a 5-year absence from the college football playoff. It is certainly raising some flags ahead of the pivotal top 10 season opener versus Clemson. So for Finebaum, Kelly's comments addressing the situation seem to fly in the face of intensity shown in Netflix series. What it means for LSU's August 30th season opener is yet to be seen, but it certainly keeps the Tigers and their passionate family base much in it. So there you go. So that's some of the news right there. It's Finebaum finding it a little different. Here, Coach Kelly, the Coach Kelly versus the political Kelly in front of the mic. You have to kind of switch, right, Coach Kelly? It's going to be interesting, man, to see how it goes, man, in this upcoming season, man. But yes, some very, very positive stuff from out of LSU camp. We getting close to that August the 30th, man, that August the 30th matchup against Clemson. Man, what can I tell you? It's going to be a very, very fun time in Death Valley. This is year 4 under Coach Kelly. And this is one of those situations where we need to see something that's going to take LSU back to prominence, man. So anyway, like we said, LSU number 9th up against Clemson, number 4th coming up. And they're going to be quite a few things as we kind of look at the Tigers' schedule right here. This is the schedule family. To look at, you can see right here, August the 30th matchup. Again, this is a big one. Then, of course, LSU comes home against Virginia Tech on week 2. Week 3, they'll see a 15th ranked Florida Gator team in Death Valley, kind of get even with Florida when what happened last year. Week 4, SLU at LSU's home. Then they hit the road against Ole Miss on September the 27th. Taking them on. Then they come back home against South Carolina. They travel to Vanderbilt for October the 18th. Week 9, they also come home for a Texas A&M matchup. The following week 8 is they head to Alabama. So they'll have that little break there, October the 25th. And then November the 8th, the bye weeks in between, they'll take on Alabama in Alabama. That's always a good one. Then the following week, week 12, they'll have an opportunity to take on Arkansas Razorbacks in Death Valley. Then November the 22nd, week 13, they have a matchup against Western Kentucky. And they close out the season against Oklahoma in Oklahoma. So LSU does have an interesting schedule to kind of start this thing off. But it's going to be fun. To be honest with you, the first 5 weeks of the season, they go up against 3 top 15 teams, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. That's not even including South Carolina, who's ranked 13 too. So if you go to top 6 weeks, the LSU Tigers take on 4 teams in the top 16 in the first 6 weeks of the season. So a lot on the line for LSU. Now, to less somber news. Of course, you guys heard about the precarious story of freshman running back JT Lindsey. Just to give you guys an update, college football player arrested after police allege he harbored 2 murder suspects in his dorm room. Let's kind of go into it. For those who did not know about this story, let me brief you. LSU football player reportedly turned himself into a campus police on August the 8th after a warrant was issued for his arrest. Police issued the warrant for his arrest, charging him with 2 felony counts of being an accessory after the fact to second-degree murder. The player's attorney maintains he was not aware that the 2 friends staying in his dorm for several weeks were wanted for murder. A Louisiana State University football player, as we talked about, JT Lindsey, turned himself in. And we talked about now WAFB out of Baton Rouge reported that the 2 murder suspects, 17-year-old Shamel Jacobs and 18-year-old Keldrick Jordan, were arrested by the U.S. Marshal Service Monday, August the 4th, at the LSU campus dorm room. Now, Jacobs and Jordan have been wanted by the police in connection with alleged murder of a 17-year-old boy in Alexandria, Louisiana, that took place last May. An attorney for Lindsey named Chris Parrott said in a statement to WBRZ that the LSU freshman running back was not aware Jacobs and Jordan were murder suspects. While they were staying at his apartment, people reached out to Parrott for a comment but did not immediately receive a response. and that's on Monday, August the 11th. Now, the spokesperson for LSU football told the People's Magazine that the player Lindsey is currently suspended from team activities. That's exactly what they did. They suspended him. We are aware and won't have any comment out of respect for the legal process. Smart. Now, the CBS Sports reported that the U.S. Marshal Service alleged officers discovered several weapons inside the dorm room where Jacobs and Jordan were arrested, including 2 AR-15 rifles, a Draco, and a Glock. In a statement to WBRZ, Lindsey's defense attorney said the football player is adamant he's innocent of any alleged criminal misconduct and any allegations of wrongdoing against him, and that he was unaware that the individuals arrested had committed any crimes or that they had been accused of any crimes. So they were wanted by the police for questioning, and he allowed them to stay at his apartment. The arrest warrant published by WAFB alleges that Lindsey was aware his friends were wanted for murder. The warrant alleges Lindsey had knowingly and aided Jacobs and Jordan. Lindsey has been charged with 2 felony counts of being an accessory after the fact to second-degree murder, according to the warrant published by WAFB. Now, this is so crazy and so tragic because the freshman is one of the top running back recruits in the country, according to 24/7 Sports. They named him as the 4th best freshman recruit from Louisiana and the 7th best running back recruit in the entire nation. Just like that, his future is in trouble. Just like that, decisions we play. Now, we'll see how this all plays out because the report maintains that he knew. His lawyer saying he did not know, and we will keep an eye on this very troubling story, right? Very interesting, man. The decisions we make. Anyway, with that being said, man, I'm going to get on out with that. Y'all feel free to hit the comment section below. Let me know how you guys feel about the topics covered in this week's episode of Tuff Tiger Talk. Do me a service. If you're a diehard, share this link with other diehard LSU faithful across the world. Hit the like button, hit the subscriber, sub up to the Tuff Tiger Talk, man. This is what we do here. We talk real deal spiel about our beloved LSU Tigers. So with that being said, I'm Big Q, and I'm going to holler at you next time. Much love. Go Tigers. Peace.
Subscribe to the Tuff Tiger Talk channel and stay up to date for all things LSU football.